Hello, everyone. My name is Reese Gilmore, and today we'll be talking about the cultural differences of Japan and what you need to know. Next week, we'll be having a meeting in Japan for about a week, and it's important to discuss these differences so that we don't prevent any possible miscommunication. Before we begin, let's ask ourselves, how important is culture? And of course, culture is extremely important. It shapes how we interact with one another, it sets the standard for the appropriate behavior, what is and what is not accepted, and it affects how communication is interpreted in the end. Of course, Japanese culture is very unique and different than American culture. There, respect and honor is the most important thing. Punctuality and reliability on the same lines are more important. If you can't show up on time, they can't trust you as a business partner. Business there is relationships oriented, not just results like it is here. They're looking to build a relationship. They like to use indirect communication and with an emphasis on nonverbal cues. That means instead of saying no, they'll say something like, or we'll look into that. They don't like to say it right to your face. First impressions are extremely important in Japanese business. The most common greeting there is a bow, which is hands at your side, and a bow, but not always. They also can do the Japanese handshake, which is the handshake with your hand on top like this. When you're greeting them, always use formal titles such as sama. That is the Japanese version of sir or mister there. Also, make sure you're greeting everyone you see in the room. Treat everyone with respect. If they're there, they deserve to be greeted. Another important part of greeting is business cards. Offering your business card before meeting someone important that you care about. Use both hands, present the Japanese side to them first, and with a slight bow. Always hand directly to the person and don't toss it around or do it carelessly. Business cards represent you, so treat it with respect. When receiving a business card, appreciate it. Thank them and take the time to look at it before setting it down on the table or putting it in your business card holder. Gift giving is another important part of Japanese business. This one more of the tradition itself than the actual gift giving. Do not surprise the recipient and do not give the gift too early. They like to know that it's coming so that they can mentally and emotionally prepare themselves for the gift. Usually, you like to subtly indicate ahead of time that you're going to give the gift before you do. Also, you should refuse the gift at least once before you can take it, which is usually what we do here as well. There are many more gift giving rules. I have some here so you can learn for later on, but we'll do that later on. Remember, before we get into business, it's very relationship oriented. Their goal is to build a partnership. They're interested in the long term. They want you to have patience and focus on building these connections before you get down to business. Also, do not try to hard sell them. This is the opposite of what they want. They feel you'll be rude and pushy. So just build these connections first before you can start doing that stuff. Socialize at the beginning of this meeting. After you've greeted everyone, take some time for small talk. This is going to build those foundations for the relationship. In Japan, it's a good idea to know a lot about your partner before meeting them. So find out some background info so you can socialize with them. They may ask you lots of questions, and that's fantastic. That's good. That means they're interested and they want to be your partner. You can ask questions too, but just make sure they're not too personal. Don't fill the silence when you're in a business meeting. In Japan, silence is a good thing. It demonstrates wisdom and it demonstrates self control. Wait for your host to break the silence before you start talking again. Usually you can do it too soon and then they weren't ready to start talking again. So just wait for them. It could also mean they don't want to talk about something. So don't force them to. If they're not ready, they'll get to it. Let it be, come back later, and it'll be no problem. Making decisions is very important in Japan because they like to reach consensus. This is their primary way of making deals. That means each member of the team is supposed to agree on the final solution. That makes your leader's role more one of maintaining harmony, not the lead authority. You're not trying to strong arm someone into agreeing with you. You're trying to bring everyone together. Keep in mind the hierarchy of these decision makers as you're doing this process. You should be talking to each member one-on-one about the solution. And the higher ranked members like to be consulted more than the lower ranked members. Not saying you don't pay no mind to the lower, but just pay more attention to the higher. Remember to be patient. This process can take a long time, so just be in for the long haul and work on those relationships. Of course, at some point, you're going to have a business dinner with Japanese, and there's a lot of differences when you're eating with them. When you do, wait to be seated. Where you sit matters. They usually have a seating chart, so just wait for that to pull out. Lowest ranked members are typically closest to the entrance, with higher at the head of the table. There's a wet towel that they usually like to use for cleaning your hands. Do not use it to clean your face. It's considered very disrespectful. Do not start eating until the host has taken his first bite. And also do not finish too late. Usually wait till he's finished and then you'll be done. If there are shared utensils for sharing entrees, if you don't have any utensils, you can use the blunt end of your chopsticks to take food from shared dishes, not the ones you've been eating off of. That's gross. Never leave chopsticks end up in food. That symbolizes the incense used at funerals, and it's a bad omen in Japan. Always serve someone else a drink, but never yourself. Someone will serve that to you, okay? There's lots more rules, but we'll get into those later. The most important thing here is just show respect. Most of all, our Japanese counterparts want to see us trying to follow tradition as opposed to doing it perfectly. Remember to always show respect when you're with them. Work towards building those relationships together. Be patient. Build consensus during your decision making. Take the time to do that and brush up on those dinner manners. Okay? Thank you so much. I do have some additional resources that you can look at for later. All right? Thank you.